Leeds United gain a statement win tonight. 3-1 winners against Middlesbrough at home in what was a mixed game overall. And we're going to get into all of that on this match reaction today. Leeds United go top of the table. Over to you, Sheffield United, who face Millwall tomorrow night. So listen, people, hit the likes. Really does help out the channel in that way. Please hit a like if you haven't already. And of course, drop your thoughts and comments below. Thank you to Mr. P for a super thanks on the last video. And thank you to Parrot House, as always. Big support of the channel, member of the channel, always supporting. If you want to become a member, the link is in the description. Wow. Wow. What a game tonight. Really good game. Really good game tonight. And it's not usually we come on and say that in terms of championship games. I thought tonight was a really, really good watch. And we make it hard for ourselves, but the quality that we possess, and we're going to get into this as the video goes on, it just makes it that much harder for the opposition. You see, Middlesbrough, they're good at this level. And shout out to their fans as well today. Probably the loudest fans at Ellen Road so far this season. But when you've got the quality that we was bringing off the bench, we should be making it count. And we did. We did. Good result overall. Good result. Let's have a look here. Matt here saying statement with KG Bigger from the team. Squad rotation good, all contributed, building nicely. Hyru with the super thanks as well. Thank you, Hyru, for that. Fantastic W by Leeds. Could have hung 4 or 5 on them. We should have. Yep. Dan James was fantastic tonight. Mwah. Let's keep it going and beat Preston on Saturday. Yeah, listen, we'll speak about that later in the week. But Preston is away from home and it's an early kickoff. But we'll speak about that then, right? We'll speak about that then. And we absolutely are top of the league, FV. We are. But listen, let's get into the team selection. Like someone rightly said as well, there was rotation tonight. And when you rotate 4, I think it was 4 players today, in terms of that, that's good. You can do that. I'm not when I talk about rotation for the team, I'm not talking about 6 or 7 changes. That's overkill. We got the right selections tonight. Now, maybe before the game, some people were saying that certain personnel should have been the ones rotated. But I think it worked really well tonight. Obviously, the result says that. It was such a weird night, though, overall. And something with Middlesbrough as well. Even though they did defend pretty deeply at times, they seem to be a little bit more open than, say, some of the worst teams that come here and defend just sturgeon like a big old blocks at the back, because they were leaving a few gaps for us to get behind, and we did exploit them a few times. I think it's because they were looking for Ben Doak to use his pace and hit us on the counter. But we just kept recovering that ball. But more in the second half, they did have more of the ball than I would have liked. But I feel like Middlesbrough, they did give us an avenue. And I do feel as well, by the way, that we should have tested Dieng a bit more. You know, we saw him against Burnley. He looked a little shaky then. He looked shaky tonight. I feel like we should have tested him a little more in terms of that. But absolutely brilliant result today. Let's have a look here. Rinaldo, Arinda in the house. How you doing, Arinda, man? Great to catch you live, bro. Got a puppy a couple months ago, and life ain't been the same since. Salute to you, man. Listen, shout out to you, and thank you for the super thanks. Listen, I see a few of you mentioning some players today. The man of the match tonight, and this is the beautiful thing about it, man. There's a few. I mean, Dan James is the man of the match. Let's get that out of the way. He was. But there was a couple of other performances today where you go, hey, he had a shout tonight. He had a shout. One of them, obviously, Tanaka. And for me, the best defender tonight, I don't know how anyone else feels, was Byram. I thought Byram had a good game going forward. More importantly, coming back, I thought that he was really good in his natural right back spot today. Really good performance from Sam. Max Verber, it was a mixed one for Max. And I'm not even talking about the own goal. I felt like he was a good outlet for us going forward, but he got caught a couple times at the pitch. Obviously, we had Tanaka, we had Rothwell covering for him, so it wasn't so much of a big deal. But I thought Verber, as he gets more comfortable, I feel like he was getting tired towards the end, and that's natural anyway. He hasn't played a lot of football. But as the game went on, I thought he was struggling a little bit in terms of keeping up with the pace. But in the first half in particular, I thought Verber was absolutely brilliant. And he's going to be a threat as well. I'm going to call it now, people. Yeah, I agree with that, Casperino. Exactly that for me. He tailed off in the second. But I'm going to say it now. If Max Verber stays here, I feel like he's going to score a direct free kick. I never encourage you to gamble, people, unless it's a free bet. I think it's a safe bet that he's going to whip one in. I do see it coming. I do. I feel like it's going to happen. But yeah, good performances today. Leeds here saying Aronson not too bad, runs a lot, but end product not always on point. On point. Well, let's talk about that because we also did get lucky as well in this game. And if we had a different referee tonight, yeah, it may not have played out the way it did play. But listen, let's talk about a few of the performances today. Melier overall did well. It's one of those things though where he makes that save on the near post. You're thinking, all right, Elan, because I didn't expect him to save it. I'll just say that now. I thought it was going to go in, but then on the corner should be doing better. You just got to be stronger. It's as simple as that. It's not a criticism. It's not an outlandish criticism, but you got to look a bit stronger there. And listen, the own goals can happen. That's neither here nor there. But he did make up for it with. I think it's the one against Doak where Doak he did have a poor touch, but the fact that Melier rushed out and got it, I thought that was excellent goalkeeping and it kept us in the game. So overall for Melier today, good. Good. And in terms of, I've already mentioned Byron for me. I thought Byron was really good, and he was a big involvement in our first goal as well. That ball down the right for Dan James, brilliant, brilliant. But he was doing that a lot in this game today, man. It was good to see Sam in this mode again. It was kind of like looking at Sam Byron from 10 years ago. So yeah, Byron today, good. Strauch, Roden, their usual partnership. Latte Life had nothing in the game for me. He was shut out. What I will say though, people, and if you got to be honest here, got to be honest, that should have been a penalty for Middlesbrough. McGree, that was a foul. And the referee was looking directly at it, and I'm very surprised that he didn't give it. But what I always say is, though, it swings and roundabouts, doesn't it? We are going to have a Stonewall penalty later this season that's not going to be given, and we get like, what the hell? But yeah, that should have been a penalty for Middlesbrough in terms of that. But listen, overall though, Joe Roden made a couple of really important blocks. Joe Rothwell, but for me, out of the midfield tonight, Rothwell got it in the Derby game. He was absolutely sensational in that game. But Tanaka tonight, bloody hell, wow. Tanaka he was on it today, both going forward and defensively, more so defensively as well. There were so many key interceptions where Middlesbrough nearly hit us on the counter, nearly got us on the attack. Tanaka was there just clearing everything up. He was like, please don't get this twisted what I'm going to say here, but just go with me in what I'm saying. It was almost like Kante today, where he was just everywhere in that midfield, mopping everything up. Brilliant. I wish he had gone on himself for that third goal, get himself a goal from central midfield, but he gets the assist for Brendan Aronson. But Tanaka, just brilliant. And Dan James, that goal. And the beautiful thing about that Dan James goal was that he literally missed a similar one. What was it, like 30 seconds before? It was very soon. And you're thinking, just go again. But that's the thing with Dan James. He just goes again. That's what I love about Dan James at this level. He doesn't drop his head. He doesn't think, damn, I just fluffed that one. I'm going to hide for a bit. He just says, give me the ball again, and I'm just going to go again. And that perseverance and endeavor that he has, it's going to be key for us going forward. That's why it's important that Dan James stays fit and firing. Thought Nanto was good as well today. He kind of tailed off in the second half, like a few of our players did, because Middlesbrough did get themselves back in the game. Brendan Aronson, again, mixed bag, but what have I always said about Brendan? He comes up in moments, and there he is again right at the end where I thought he could have been subbed off earlier in the game. I'll be honest with you. I thought that he could have possibly come off before Nanto today, but he's there again, and he gets his goal involvement numbers up. Matteo Joseph. Matteo. I gotta say this. He was indirectly involved in the first goal build-up. He was. In terms of making George Edmondson, make that clearance onto Dieng, who, just fluffed it back. And the thing is, if Dieng doesn't move that into Nanto's path, that's actually a really good save, but that's the margins. But for me, Matteo Joseph, there was some nice build-up work, but talking about striking, I've said on here before, if the strikers aren't getting the service, then it's hard to judge them. But there was a couple of balls today, one from Dan James in particular, where I would expect Matteo Joseph to gobble it up. I'd expect him to be on the end of it. It was a beautiful ball, absolutely beautiful from Dan James. This was in the first half, and Matteo didn't react quick enough to it, and I don't know what it is. I don't know. I'm not even going to try and think of what it could be, but he wasn't moving the way that he was moving in very first few games of the season. So that it wasn't this was probably his worst performance overall in terms of just his general play, even though that he did do a couple of things good. But when it comes to the striking, there was another point as well. It probably won't be as obvious to people because the ball didn't get to him, but it came from the left hand side, and he just wasn't there when he should be, and that was disappointing today. But look, it was his first start coming back in. Hopefully, he gets another one against Preston to keep the rhythm up, because Peru did what he did, in the previous games when he come off the bench, and he, got himself a goal involvement. He looked really good as well when he came on, Joel Peru. But yeah, Matteo Joseph, we're going to need a little bit more than that. But listen, as I said at the start of the season, there's going to be growing pains with him. There is. This is his first season, as a main player, as one of the main players. There's going to be a few growing pains. Let's have a look here. John Hughes saying here, Joseph is a bit ring rusty, plain and simple. Yeah, that's what it looked like. Because sometimes his feet look so heavy tonight. And I've seen Matteo Joseph run, and we know what he's capable of in terms of his speed and his movement. And it just wasn't there for him today. Leeds here saying Peru is far more clinical and Joseph just lacks a bit of confidence and match game time. Yeah, that's where I am as well with it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna hammer him in terms of that today, but I'll give him the same, criticism I'd give any other striker when they're in that position with a ball that beautifully delivered. They should be getting on the end of it. You know what I mean? So it is what it is in terms of that. Have I missed anything there? Have I missed anything? No. By the way, some of you in there was in terms of Melier, if you want to talk about his distribution, yeah, it was poor, but we used to that. There was a couple of times where he just kicked it out of play under little pressure. Pascal Struijk as well, by the way. Oh, in that first half, if the ball was on target, I think it was going to probably go in when Struijk passed it back and it went out for a corner, because he was on his unfavored foot, trying to use his left foot, and it just went just wide of the post. We were very lucky there. You know what I mean? Let's have a look. Yeah. Telly here saying Matteo is 21. Everyone needs to chill out on him. How many 21-year-olds are raking in goals? It's not about age, Telly. It's about your ability. And listen, we've seen it before. I mean, at this very football club where players are young enough, they will start and they will play and stay in the team if they're on form. And for me, it's not about criticism. I know other people may pile on Matteo Joseph. I'm not doing that. But you have to call it out for what it is. If you're going to be in the first team, then you've got to be judged like a first team player. And it's as simple as that for me. That's how I do it. I'm not going to pile on him, but he's in the team. This is his first year starting. And there's still many more games to go. And it will click for him, man. I'm confident of that. It will click for him. Let's have a look here today. In terms, some of you going back to this, some of you were saying about the bench being unfair. I couldn't agree more. And this is what I've been preaching. This is what I've been preaching in terms of this team. This squad is ridiculous in this league. And as I keep saying, and no one ever comes back to me, if you feel that there's a better squad in this league that is better that have better players than us overall, from starting 11 to bench, put them in the comments, and they never show up. They just like to say that this team isn't good enough, blah, 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 but they never can go on and say, well, which squad is better? The strength in depth is ridiculous, people. Bringing on Manor Solomon and Joel Peru at the points that we did is unfair. It's unfair. Middlesbrough don't have that. And I pointed that out. Look at Middlesbrough's bench here. I love Johnny Howson back in the League One days. That was a long time ago, mate. You know what I mean? Isaiah Jones, they don't have that. And then even when you're looking at that, I mean, even Schmidt got charity minutes today. Shout out to you, Isaac Schmidt. You got some game time today. But listen, people, how good was it in terms of Ampadu coming back? Absolutely loved that moment as well, by the way. Ampadu coming back. We're on the 10th of December. What a machine. He was expected to be out January. You know what I mean? He was expected to get back into training at near the end of December with a possibility of coming back in January, and he's already back. Comes on the pitch, gets the captain's armband back from Pascal. Love to see it, man. And that just gives us even more depth. We'll have to look out for Rothwell. He did go down a couple times in this game. Hopefully there's no injury there, because like I say, even with Ampadu back, there's an argument, isn't there? Rothwell, Tanaka, Ampadu, what do you do there? You know, Aronson as well has just played himself probably into another game versus Preston on Saturday. The options that we have, people, are just ridiculous. It is, and if people can call me arrogant for that, that's fit. That's fine. But I judge things on a football level. And if I was going up against this Leeds United team, if I was a fan of another team going up against this squad, I'd be thinking, God damn, this is going to be a long, long night. That's what I'd be thinking. Ali here saying a lot of what people saying we cannot drop Rothwell. We shall see, Ali. We shall see because someone's going to have to come out. Someone's coming out. Ampadu is coming back in. Let's just get that straight, right? With the way that Daniel Farker talks and reveres about Ampadu, he's coming back in the first 11 at some point when he's fully fit. Someone is coming out and dropping to the bench. What a problem to have, though. What a problem to have. Absolutely amazing. Love that as well, by the way, with Nanto scoring. Good to see him getting on the score sheet. Love the celebration as well, blowing kisses and kissing the cam and then going over to Gilavogi. You can tell with Gilavogi that he's such a good influence behind the scenes. And everything I've heard as well, saying that he's just a great character to have. And as we've seen when he does get on the pitch, he still has that ability to play. But you can see he is a good influence behind the scenes, man. Dave here. What about Gruev? Exactly. I mean, even Gruev is back on the grass, not in any capacity in terms of he's going to be back soon, people. As Danny Farker said in the pre-match press conference, he still isn't anywhere near running, tackling, or any of that hard stuff yet. But even Gruev is coming back. And I thought Gruev was going to be out until March, April. I thought that the injury was going to be too severe. But I mean, even if you get Gruev back, hey, this midfield is ridiculous, man. But here we go. People saying Rothwell can't be dropped. And here's the other one. No way is how being dropped, as Benny would say here. It's great. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love it, and I feel I deserve it, you know, in terms of this. It's beautiful to have people. Let me just have a look at this here. Middlesbrough. What else happened in the game? What else happened in the game as such? There really wasn't anything else. Ben Doak, in terms of the threat that he has, you can see what kind of player that he is in terms of the speed and quickness. But I felt like we handled him pretty well. And you know, Melier handled him well. I felt when he was on the left, because he did start on the left in the first half, I felt that Byron marshaled him well. Then he moved back out to his favored right position, and he did get some joy down there because of Verbera, you know, wandering off into the 8 and 10 position. But I felt like we handled him well. But this is the thing I've been saying in terms of other people's dangerous players. Other teams will have dangerous players. We just have more. We have more of them. You know what I mean? And that's the difference between us and every other team. It really is. Nigel is saying hard fought, brilliant win tonight, KG. Now let's go to Preston, get 3 points Saturday. That's it. That's the key, isn't it? We've got to break that hoodoo. And listen, we'll talk about the Preston game in a preview later this week. But yeah, we've got to break that early kickoff away from home voodoo. We have to. Sean saying here, I feel like Ampadu looked a little stiff when he came on. I mean, that will happen, Sean. He's just come back from a long-term, you know, knee injury. It's gonna be, you know, getting these minutes in to get the match fitness back, get the, you know, his legs going again. That's natural to happen. You know, I wasn't expecting him to come on and be, you know, marshalling Ampadu. That's not what he was brought on for anyway. It was to get him match fitness. He'll be back to normal in no time. Let's have a look. Jim here saying Aronson played very well, but I would have been a lot more relaxed at halftime had he put that big opportunity away. Yeah, I mean, we talk about Dan James missing his and then scoring. There was one with Aronson where he just skied it, didn't he? He just absolutely just ballooned it over the bar. But that's what you're going to get. I mean, that kind of stuff doesn't surprise me. You know, with Aronson, that's the thing that has improved. I liken it as well to Dan James since we've come down. Dan James is that composure for Dan James's goal. We'd never have seen that in the Prem. Never. That would just not happen. He would have put that in the stands. But he went again after the other one went on target, got this one target with more plum and got it in. But Brendan, I feel he's working on that down here. I do. I feel like he's going to work on that and get better at this level in terms of his final product. Even a pass of his, the one that he put through, it was Joseph that laid it off to Aronson. Aronson put it through to James. He just put too much mustard on it. And that's why Dieng got out to Dan James in time. If you just put a little bit less on the ball, I think Dan James would have been through and possibly scored then as well. So yeah, there's always going to be things that Aronson can improve on, and that's fine. JR Racer here, sorry, Jay Racer is saying we all pressed the one from Boxing Day last year. Yep. What we saying here? Okay, yeah. That chance before halftime, you could have squared it to none toward Joseph. Yeah, final decision making, absolutely. What else is there? Is there anything else we want to get from here before I go on to tonight's results? Because we've had some results go our way tonight. Let me just get this up. While I'm getting this next slide up, please, if you haven't already, like the video if you haven't done so already. So let me just see this. Yeah, there we are. And let me just share this. He deserves that. 100th appearance for Dan James tonight. Scored to give Leeds the lead. Got his own chant. What a night! Yeah, what a boy! What a boy! Go on, DJ. Let's go. Let's go. Nige here saying pressure on the blunts now on the blades tomorrow night. Big pressure on them, and there's a little added wrinkle to that game as well, because I don't know if this has happened before with Neil Harris. Maybe it has. I don't know, but he's leaving Millwall again, so it's going to be Neil Harris's, or as I like to call him, Master Splinter's last game as Millwall manager at home. So there might be some extra emotion behind that for the Millwall players. They might want to give their manager a good send-off. So, hey, this game has probably timed out pretty well for us. But look, we are top of the league right now, 41 points. Sheffield United do play tomorrow. We'll keep a close eye on that game. But Burnley tonight dropped points. I cannot believe they did this, actually. Where is that? Where is it? Where are we at? 0-0 with Derby County. Crazy that even happened. And Sunderland back to being IKEA FC again, another draw. They got like a last minute win equalizer there. See, if we weren't doing what we were doing and Sunderland kept getting these results, we'd be saying, oh my God, Sunderland this year's Ipswich. But we're not having to say that because we are getting what we need to do done. But let's do it away from home too. And what else is there? Yeah, obviously our next game, people. Yeah, Preston away. Early kickoff, but we will talk about that later in the week, of course. Let's have a look. Godfrey here saying Farker substitutions were timed better this time. I feel like it was standard in terms of that, Godfrey. I mean, they were timed well because it worked out. But when Middlesbrough were on top for, I would say around, what was it, like maybe 15 minutes of the second half, maybe we could have made a change there just to change the flow of the game. But yeah, the substitutions worked out well today because we've come away with 3 points and a 3-1 victory. But yeah, it was no different. I think it was probably 68 minutes, was it today? Was it 68 instead of 70? Let's have a look. No, it was 69 minutes. So it wasn't anything different in terms of the way that he usually subs. And then as you see for the later ones, it's the late 80s minutes. And then because there was like added time, Schmidt and Gilavogi got on the pitch. So there wasn't really, you know, anything different in terms of his subs. Yeah, he loves them, man. He loves them. I swear, if you place bets on when he's going to make a sub, you make a killing. You make a killing, wouldn't you? And Cloud Dizzle saying top of the league, we're top of the league. Yeah, lovely. And I hope Millwall, I cannot believe I'm going to say this, people, but I hope Millwall win tomorrow. Never wish for a Millwall win in my life, I don't think. Jack saying, yeah, that Burnley result is dreadful, terrible. I'd be not devastated. That's a strong word. I'd be really disappointed if we couldn't take care of Derby at home. We've seen them. There's nothing to them. Paul Warren sounds like he's in awe of like Leeds and the Burnleys and Sheffield United. Yeah, you got to be disappointed with that. So, but listen, as long as we do what we're doing, people, we won't have to care what Burnley are doing, what Sheffield United are doing. And it goes with results like this today. Goes with results like this. But yeah, I think that is it, people. Let me just see. Is that all? We talked about Nonto's goal, Dan James' beauty. Yeah, Brendan Aronson on the score sheet. I think that is it. I think that is it, people. Yes, that is it. So that is the stream for today. That's the match reaction. Leeds United 3. Who do we play again? I've forgotten who we played. Oh my days, it's gone blank. Unbelievable stuff. Sunderland. No, it wasn't Sunderland. Who did we play? Middlesbrough. Hey, smooth. So smooth. Real smooth. Yeah. But listen, like the video before you go, drop your comments, thoughts below of who you thought performed well, etc., etc. And I'll see you in the next video, people. Peace out.